in Ghana.
All right, we are 10 minutes away from 6. Good to have your company, folks. If you're just joining us, of course, the big political news today has been the resignation of Maurice Williamson. I don't think we should dress it up as anything else. It was a sacking. The Prime Minister lost confidence in Maurice Williamson today. Pretty simple, because he pressured the New Zealand police, a senior New Zealand police officer, over a man called Donahue Liu, who's a very wealthy millionaire property developer, a Chinese man here in New Zealand. And basically Williamson, he was involved, this guy Liu was involved in a domestic violence case, and Williamson started putting pressure on the New Zealand police, asking questions. It was a no-no. Have a listen to Maurice Williamson's resignation this afternoon.
It has become clear that the police believe that it does cross a line. The Prime Minister thinks that it was inappropriate for me to have made the call. He does accept my assurance, which I give you today, there was no intention to do anything about screwing the outcome, but just to work out the status of it.
You see, I don't believe it. I don't believe Williamson. When a senior minister, when a minister of that many years' service rings the New Zealand police to inquire about a wealthy constituent's domestic violence case, the police start making notes, and they start running, not scared, but they start making notes about it. It's called highly sensitive cases, and this is what happens. Williamson completely got this wrong, and the Prime Minister found out about it on Tuesday night, and this is the Prime Minister today.
It's a very long established principle, and I think Mr. Williamson, by making that phone call, crossed the line.
Absolutely crossed the line. The Prime Minister got that one right. But I just have to wonder if Maurice Williamson has paid a price because Judith Collins didn't with her dealings with Aurovita. You've got to remember that Collins was in China on justice business, and she went and had a private meeting with the Aurovita bosses. They're the milk exporter into China. Collins' husband, David, is on the board of Aurovita, and Collins had this private dinner with Aurovita bosses and the Chinese government border official, one of the senior Chinese government border officials. I know a lot of you think that what's so wrong with that. I happen to think that that is wrong. I happen to think that basically Collins is giving her husband's company the inside running, or the inside track, in getting their exports into China. And guess what's happened today? 13 milk exporters, milk powder exporters, who have previously exported to China, only 5 have been given the license today to get into China. 8 of them have been shut out. That's how the Chinese do business, folks. 5 are in, 8 are out. Aurovita is in. Aurovita is in, and it's doing business in China. Now, I'm not saying it's because of Judith Collins, but I bet you that dinner helped. Today we spoke to David Mann. He's a New Zealand businessman in China, and in the last 5 years since the free trade agreement, we have seen a massive explosion of New Zealand businesses doing business with the Chinese. We've seen a lot of wealthy Chinese also come to New Zealand. The game's changed, folks. The game has seriously changed, both here in New Zealand and also, of course, in China. And doing business with the Chinese, it seems, is very, very different to doing business with the Australians or the Yanks or with the British. And I spoke to David Mann about this today, about how different it is to do business with the Chinese and their expectations as well. Have a listen to David Mann.
In China, you don't do it by money. I mean, what that businessman would probably have done is taken local officials out to dinner, perhaps organised a golf tournament or something, to show his goodwill towards them in a place where he had interests. Because that's how you secure and protect your interests in China.
You see, and that's what's been happening. That's what Judith Collins did. She had the dinner with the business and she had the Chinese border official. So that's what's happening there. John Key goes and plays golf with Stone Shi from Aurovita, who donates money to the National Party. What's up? I'm not saying this is corruption, or am I? Is this corruption? Is this the way the Chinese do business? What was in it for Maurice Williamson? I have absolutely no idea. But why did he put his 27-year parliamentary career on the line for Donahue Liu? Why? What was in it for Maurice Williamson? He has seen many people before him, ministers, fall by the wayside because of stupid judgment decisions, silly and naive judgment decisions. And I do not believe Maurice Williamson is naive in the slightest. I believe today that he's been proved to be stupid arrogant, or both, and I'm going both. And now he has paid the ultimate price. He's gone as a minister. I think also that the whole episode shows he's been in Parliament too long, and you've seen it with other people before. Ian Revel lost his job as Assistant Speaker. He was an idiot. He tried to get involved in a parking ticket dispute. He was gone. See you later. We're really missing him, aren't we? Nick Smith was gone for a little while, came back. David Benson Pope lost his job for trying to get a woman, or got a woman sacked in the Environment Ministry. Williamson, experienced MP, minister, should have known better. He's paid the ultimate price to date, and I reckon now is the time for Williamson to signal the end of his political career in Wellington. In my view, he's no longer fit for office. Done his 27 years. What else possibly can he offer New Zealand voters? Nothing, I say. It's over. He's got no future in Parliament. He leaves in disgrace. 27 years, and it ends like this. Why? Why am I never surprised with politicians anymore?
Radio Live Drive with Duncan Garner. Broadcasting throughout Auckland on 100.
Tonight on 3 News, Minister down. Political editor Patrick Gower on why Maurice Williamson's phone call to police led to his resignation.
Lisa Owen tracks down the man Williamson was trying to help and looks at the police email trail.
And the mongrel mob prospect who killed Mallory Manning is jailed for at least 20 years, but police say their investigation isn't over.
Mike McRoberts.
Kia ora, good evening. MP Maurice Williamson has resigned as a government minister after he was caught interfering in a police investigation. The Pakuranga MP went to police over the case of a National Party donor who was arrested in a domestic violence case. Today, the Prime Minister said Williamson crossed the line. Political editor Patrick Gower begins our coverage.
Maurice Williamson caught out so badly that he had absolutely no option but to quit. You interfered.
Okay, so I have taken the hit for it. What are you talking about? I've gone. What is it you're saying now? I should be justifying something I can't justify it. I made a mistake. I've resigned.
Williamson interfered in the case of Dong Wah Lu after police charged him with assault at this Auckland motel he owns. Williamson made a phone call to police to check up on the case, unprecedented for a minister.
So the moment that he made the phone call, in my view, he crossed the line.
I got it wrong. I don't know. Would you like me to say it another 5 times? I got it wrong. I've resigned.
This is Lou at his Remuera home today.
No, sorry for that. I just want to know whether you asked him to ring the police about your domestic violence case, Mr. Liu.
Williamson had helped Lou before. He had earlier lobbied for him to get New Zealand citizenship against official advice. Williamson even performed the citizenship ceremony the day after it was granted in his electorate office. Lou remained close to National after that. John Key opened Lou's property development, and National later got a $22,000 donation from his company. As for the planned $70 million development, well, it's clearly stalled. Lou ducked off rather than taking questions today, sneaking out in the backseat of this car, crouching down with a jacket over his head.
Excuse me. Mr. Liu, did you ask Maurice Williamson to phone the police for you, Mr. Liu?
Police emails describe Williamson's phone call like this. He just wanted to make sure that somebody had reviewed the matter to ensure we were on solid ground, as Mr. Liu is investing a lot of money in New Zealand. So what on earth did how much money he had invested in New Zealand have to do with his charges?
Oh, I think I have a perception that we dramatically need huge level of investment in the country right now. No cranes on the horizon.
That obviously created the perception that he helped out a wealthy donor to his party. You helped out a rich guy who gave...
I said I thought it was a grubby little innuendo that you were if you're indicating I only help someone because they're rich. Yeah, no, anybody else? Final question? All right, thank you lots.
And with that, Williamson was finished. Patrick Gower, 3 News.
And we'll have more from Patrick in a moment about the damage this has done to National, but it also raises questions about how the police handled Williamson's decision to approach them as well. Lisa Owen traces that trail.
January 20 and County's Manukau District Commander John Timms fires off an email to Auckland City's top police officer saying, I was contacted by Maurice Williamson. So evidence there that the now former Cabinet Minister took his concerns straight to the top. In that same email, Superintendent Timms asks, could someone review the matter? There he's talking about Lou's pending prosecution. Now, just a few hours later, a police inspector confirms he will have it reviewed. And that same day, yet another officer is asked to get someone to contact prosecutions and to review the file. So already there are 4 top officers responding to Williamson's query. Whatever his intentions, it has prompted the police to take another look at the case. Now, a few days later, and things seem to have gotten a little more serious, a police email warns that there may be a complaint about the police not withdrawing the charges. So next thing, Timms, he's the district commander that the MP contacted directly, emails an officer asking him to please ring Maurice Williamson MP, re your review. Now, the next email we have reveals that Williamson told police that he wanted to make sure they were on solid ground as Mr. Lou was investing a lot of money in New Zealand. So there is Williamson's motive. By now, the police are referring to this as a complaint/inquiry. But the last email, it confirms that the charges would not be withdrawn and the police would proceed with the case against Lou. So there you have it, several senior officers dealing with a query from a cabinet minister after he starts meddling with a police investigation. And the question remains, would the police have acted in the same way if it had been you or I who made that first phone call?
Well, Williamson's gone, but cutting off the poisoned limb didn't stop the poison spreading. Political editor Patrick Gower's live now, and Patrick, the fallout continues.
Yes, well, John Key certainly cut things off pretty quickly. Mike, you're quite right there. He heard about it on Tuesday, talked to Maurice Williamson on Wednesday, and the message was probably pretty clear. Don't come Thursday. But the problem for National is this. This amplifies the issues that they have had over Aurovita with Judith Collins. Essentially, parallel cases here of a wealthy donor who gets preferential or special treatment from the National Party that other people don't get. And that's the real problem for National here. Every time they try and shake Aurovita, something comes up that brings up the matter of why is Judith Collins still a minister? Why has nothing happened to her?